Hello, thank you for joining.
I just realized you guys probably couldn't hear a single word I was saying just then, could you? Could you? You couldn't hear anything. We got Timea from the Noooodlefam on, and here she is right here. No more final ado. There she is.
Hello, greetings.
Thank you for your patience, sis. I know that I'm kind of a moron sometimes, and tonight is another one of those nights for sure. But
I mean, you're fine.
I know. I appreciate you having patience with me while I got this stuff figured out. The funny thing is, the last time this happened, as I was saying, this happened before, was the only other female guest we've had on the live stream yet. So I think there's some kind of conspiracy against female reptile keepers, but we're ending that tonight. It's over.
You know, I'm sorry I did not disclose that to you, but there totally is just like a curse that comes with being female on your feed. So I just sincerely apologize for the lack of forewarning.
It's all right. I'll let you off the hook just this once. Dude, so the reason I wanted to have you on is, well, I've been following, when did I first find, I think, I know I commented on one of your first YouTube videos that you put out, and I don't remember how I found that video, if I found you on Instagram first or that video, but I just, as you know, left you a comment about your audio, and...
Yep. I need to apologize, everybody, for the lack of my audio. I tried to get my mic to work literally all day, bought all this stuff for it, and I still can't get it to work, which is part of the reason I've been lacking on YouTube, but we'll get there. So kind of crap audio. I know Brian likes his very crisp and pristine audio, but we'll work with what we got today.
No, it sounds great. It sounds great over here, I promise. I'm going to turn you up a little bit even over on this end. Yeah, so... I mean, I found you on Instagram and YouTube, maybe at the same time. It was probably at the same time. And playing with the mangrove snake. And then you reached out to me to do a little collab video, and we did that, and that was fun. And
yeah, the past reptile video. That was fun. Thanks for participating.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed myself. And I told you, I was like, I don't know if I want to, I had second thoughts about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, there's a bunch of people like holding cobras and stuff in the video. I want to put. I was like, I don't care. Actually, you asked me to do it, and I thought it was fun. It was funny, and it was great. It's, if somebody wants to do something reptile related on the internet, chances are I'm going to be like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun.
Honestly, anything to make the hobby look fun. So thank you for still doing that. I know you did want to kind of second guess yourself there, but I think you did that blooper perfect. So
yeah. And then you were just the third reason I wanted to have you on is that you were just at Brian. Like, we just missed each other at Brian's. Like, you were just there the weekend before me. Anybody that follows Tamaya on Instagram already, which her screen name is right there on the bottom there. You can see it if you want to check out what she's got going on Instagram. That's the other reason, just to like have somebody else that had just been there and been through, like, literally last week, because I just got back, like I said, yesterday. I landed, and it was the day before yesterday. I don't know, it's all blending together now, but yeah. Tell me, first of all, tell me how you got into reptiles, if you don't mind.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've always been like intrigued by them because my dad worked for Microsoft, and they would have these big parties every summer. There'd be like bouncy houses. There'd be this one tortoise in particular that showed up multiple years. I was just like tortoise just strolling around. There'd be this reptile guy with this big snake. I think it was a retic. I'm not sure. I was really young. But I was always intrigued by them. What made me actually get my first snake, it's kind of sad. I was taking my dog for a walk. I have a Siberian Husky, and he got at a snake that I didn't see. Otherwise, I would have prevented him from being able to reach it. But that snake didn't get to see another day. So I was like, oh my gosh, today's the day. I'm finally going to do it. Like, get my first reptile. And I completely fell in love. My first snake, Churro, was just a normal ball python and had just the biggest personality. I just couldn't stop. I got more. Absolutely loved the personality that a snake had, something that I'd never heard of before, Don't typically talk about snakes having personalities.
Well, you got to meet Ivy last weekend when you were there. I mean, if you want to talk about snake personalities, I mean, how was your? I I will say that the experience I had with Ivy last weekend was the most amazing experience I've ever had with a single snake in my life. I got it all. There's a whole video that'll be coming out on it. But how was your experience with her? Because speaking of snake personalities, that snake was something else.
Yeah, completely calm. I could tell she recognized Brian, I'm sure by scent and everything. We sat in the enclosure, just for her to get familiar with me first before I actually held her. For a green anaconda, she was just super calm, very curious. It was super nice to see. Her enclosure was beautiful. I loved every moment about it. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could have a snake like that, although I don't have the room for it. So out of the question.
I think that snake you were talking about when you were mentioning that you had seen a snake when you were young. There's a picture on your Instagram somewhere in the feed. Maybe it looks like you're like young, like 4 or 5, and it's like a big albino
Yeah.
berm or something. And you're like reaching up and petting it and like.
Yeah, yeah. That was at the Microsoft party. So that was the reptile guy that showed up with the big snakes. Yeah, I don't know what kind it was, but
Microsoft. Where was this party?
oof. I mean, Washington State. I forget. I think I don't know exactly the location. Probably about 2 hours from where I live.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Washington State. How is it up there?
Not very reptile friendly, to be honest. I feel like kind of a weirdo liking reptiles here, but that's exactly why I love being online so much, is because I can finally bond with everybody that loves them so much. Versus here, I can't really like talk to people. I mean, they do get interested, and I think that's one of my favorite parts is like getting people into keeping snakes. But otherwise, up here, I mean, it's fine. I prefer somewhere sunnier, but we're good.
I was going to ask, are you like close to Seattle or in
About
Seattle?
30 minutes away.
Three
About
hours?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. I lived in Washington for a while, so I kind of got to know it a little bit. I played in a band up there, and we actually we had home base in Port Angeles was our home base.
Oh, nice.
And we toured out of there. We only played in Washington. We played at some of the colleges too out there, like I can't remember all the names of the towns, but we played on some of the islands up there in the Puget Sound as well. But
yeah, nice. How long ago was that?
that was about, when was that, 2004 when we first started home basing up there, 2003, 2004.
Nice.
And then yeah, cool place. I love, but we were in the lucky part. We were in like little sun belt, so it was like
Yeah,
nice.
nice.
Not as
Yeah,
much rain.
no.
Do you have to have do you do like light? I know people in Seattle, like a lot of people have a little sun lamp just in the wintertime so they don't go crazy from not seeing the sun.
Yeah, especially for someone like me, like honestly, I'm prone to seasonal depression because I just thrive off the sun. It gives me so much energy and happiness. I do have a lamp like that. I got it last year. I don't know that it works well for me, to be honest, but I didn't really use it consistently. But yes, I've tried. Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
when I
no.
was up
I
there.
mean, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, overall, like, despite it not being that sunny, there's still, like, so much to appreciate that I love, like, Pike Place and stuff, and the Needle. I do think it's beautiful. So, yeah, not complaining about living here.
Yeah, no, I had enjoyed my time up there, certainly. I mean, it was a beautiful state. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know, evergreen state, all kinds of green. And you do quite a bit of herping. Is that accurate?
I tried to, honestly. I've tried to herp for rattlesnakes 2 years in a row now. But I've always ended up doing it kind of late towards the summer. I go to a place called Frenchman's Coulee. But yeah, I've had no luck so far. The only thing that I'm really good at finding is salamanders. Those you can count on me for, but actual snakes. I would say minimally like a few garter snakes, but any kind of rattlesnake just seems to escape from me. So I've yet to actually herp one of those, but I did go to a trip in Arizona for this rattlesnake kind of course, I guess. And the teachers invited me to herp after, and we found all sorts of things: frogs, toads, like scorpions, tarantulas, and a ton of rattlesnakes, cottonmouth. It was just, yeah, ton of fun. I do love herping.
Yeah, I saw some posts and some videos and some stories and stuff. Because at first glance, I think somebody who might come across your page is like, oh, it's just some girl posing a snake to like as an accessory or something. Like I could
Yep.
certainly see people would think that. But then I dove a little deeper into your page. I was like, people that are just doing that don't go herping like you go herping. Like you got the thing in you where you're like, I want to go out in the wild and find these animals. Like,
Yeah, no, yeah, I would love to even just like do research in the wild and study all that. So I am very passionate, and I don't think snakes are accessories. I think that's a very silly thing to portray that they are like that. So I don't know. I do love studying how they work and stuff. Yeah.
I just got to meet up with one of the, as far as girls and rattlesnakes, there's a girl named Haley Crowell who's up there in Michigan. She
Yeah.
came out to the Reptarium while we were there because she moved from,
Nice.
she was out here doing rattlesnake research on the coast is where I met her in the
Nice.
Central Coast of California, but she came out for a minute and just like, it's not, it's nice to see girls that are into it and more girls that are into it because I think it helps make the hobby and snake keeping more normalized for the general population, which is, as much as we're in our little bubble here of snake keeping, we all, you know, well, at least I do. I love everybody that keeps snakes. I'm like, oh, you person,
Yeah,
that's our people.
you get it.
We get in this bubble, which is easy to do on the internet now, where you find all the people that you like and that are into things you're into, and be like, oh yeah, everybody loves snakes. But I think sometimes I do lose sight that the reality is that most people don't. If you go outside of our little
Yep.
bubble.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I've had my old coworker reach out to me saying, now I'm really interested in snakes. What do you recommend? I've had multiple people send me like thank you art and stuff for getting them into snakes. I do agree completely that I think having females, you know, with snakes and kind of show how awesome that they can be is really helpful to the hobby. Um, yeah, I mean, I felt like I've been way more positive than negative the hobby. I'm not perfect, but both to the tarantula community and the snake community, I absolutely love spreading love for the animals, especially because like I relate to them in the fact that I feel like they're super misunderstood. But they're amazing animals. They truly are. Like I am so passionate about them. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it shows. It shows. And
Yeah.
I was looking at your Instagram right before we got started just to take a look, and I was looking at some of the, like, you got your thing set up a lot better than I do. That's for sure. Like I could probably do a tad of research. I'm pretty inconsistent on Instagram, but let me pull back up your page. You have like all these different things on the about page. I know there's a way to just pull up your page on here. I just want to look at it. You know what? I'll jack around with that later. But let's look at a few pictures so everybody else can see what I'm trying to show here
Yeah.
on my little pad here. But so many technical difficulties today. It's ridiculous.
You're good.
This
You're
little
good. We're fine. It's
this little
fine.
thing just messed up with me. It's supposed to work so that I can keep my hands below the table and not show all my cards like I'm showing them right now. Whatever. I'm just gonna stick my
Keyword
hand
it's supposed to.
It's
You're
all right.
good. You're
It's all right. I'll write the company later tonight. And, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
So this is your mangrove snake, obviously. Do you have more than one, or do you just have the one that's like your pet?
yeah, I've got one currently. That's my pet, who was just like a big fixer-upper project because he arrived pretty much unresponsive from probably irresponsible keeping prior to me getting him and poor shipment conditions. So, yeah, I had to treat him with medications. He is just thriving right now, growing, and I love to see that. Once he's a little more established, I do want to breed him. I've had him about a year now. Maybe I would say probably next year, the following year, I'd love to grab a female. And then depending on what size she is, I might have to raise her, you know, to breeding capabilities. But yeah, I would love to see him reproduce. I think he's a fantastic snake, especially for a mangrove with such a calm personality is rare to see. So yeah.
Oh, we got a comment from we've had a bunch of comments, but we got it. Lou Boyer, Lou B747 on YouTube. He goes out, does all kinds of cool herping videos all around the world. He jump in the chat. What's up, Lou? Lou's awesome. We need to jump on a plane with Lou. He's also a pilot, so he's like a pilot that flies around the world, and that's why he gets to go all these cool places and herp you know, Southeast Asia, just all kinds of places. Badass. But he had a question. Was it have you been bitten by him yet?
Okay, yes, I have been bitten. I was bitten 3 times. The only time that actually happened was when I was giving him a soak because he was pre-shed. In my bathtub, obviously, I understand the risks of being bitten. Thankfully, I was not envenomated at all. He just did a dry bite 3 times. But yeah, after that, I was actually taught by someone else that they do get more, I guess, nippy and testy when in water. And after that one incident, I did find that to be completely true. Then I was more prepared. So haven't been bitten since. He struck at me 1 time since, again, when in water, but I was more prepared for it. So yes, in summary, I've been bitten.
Oh, it's always been when he's in water.
Always in water. It's really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. And it's very consistent behavior from him. He is not sketchy or, testy outside of water, ever. So I can grab his mouth, I can open his mouth, and I do that to test, his general health checks. I'm not a vet or anything, but because his history of having pneumonia when he arrived that I initially had to treat, since then I do regular checks on him. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's good of you to do that and stay on top of your stuff, man. Yeah. Dude, Brian pulled out this one on the BHB side of things that he knew would put on this amazing display. Dude, the way they do that, just their whole coil back and like opening them. Oh man, they're awesome looking snakes, man.
Did you see the small ones or did you get to see the big breeders?
I think he pulled out some. Well, I saw some small ones and some maybe like yearlings or something too.
Yeah.
Nice. There's always so much to see. We could spend a whole week at that place and still not like fully do everything, dude. But it was
honestly so much fun. Looked like you had a great time too, so that was fun to see. It was amazing, and his animals are truly, they glow. They look so happy in those enclosures. So good for Brian.
Yeah, that I accidentally. When I got in with the anacondas, I went in the enclosure and got in the water with them and stuff, and
I did the water.
Yeah, I did a full submerge I had both snakes in the water. It was cool. I sat there and let her come to me, like Brian said to do. And if he hadn't told me how she was gonna act before I did that, the way that she came up and started sniffing every little part of my face, I'd have been a little sketched out about it, but. The fact that he told me that she was probably going to do that, I was sitting in the water, and she came across the waterfall and then started sniffing me, and then went down my body, literally sniffed every inch of my body, crawled underwater with me. But my point is that we went, when she came all the way in the water, I went all the way underwater too, head and everything, and we put the water a little bit high, and some water spilled out, and first there was a little bit of time, right before the reptarium was supposed to open to the public, that we thought the cage was leaking because it was on the opposite side of where I'd gotten in and out from. So,
oh no!
Brian started freaking out a little bit. I was I was feeling super bad. Luckily, that's what it was. It was just that I displaced the water a little bit too much and it didn't actually. I didn't actually cause a leak, because if I had caused a leak, it would have put a whole damper on. I've been oh, I broke the cage. No, please.
No. He wouldn't have let you get in the water if he was going to be mad about that.
Yeah, no, that's true. I just didn't want to mess anything up like that. Luckily, the only thing I messed up was stealing my buddy's keys and taking off for the airport. Stole his truck keys.
Oh, I did see that.
You saw that?
I did see the video.
Such a dummy.
Funny, not lie. So Aries came and said hi to you too, not just Ivy.
Yeah. Aries was in there Aries was touching me first because he was already in the water, but he was small, and he's much smaller, of course. So I just jumped in the water and was like, yeah, he's in there. Let's check him. I got in the water with salt and pepper too, and that was.
Oh my God, no way. Okay, I'm jealous. I want to go back.
Well, to be fair, I've worked up a bit. You just met Brian. I've worked up a relationship with him over the past several years. So it's. Sure. I had a little more. I don't know what. I had a little more leeway, clout, whatever you want to call it. And I was. Yeah. When he first built that enclosure, the first thing I sent him a message just dude, I want to come swim with those anacondas. She's like, come on over. I was like, so I knew that.
For sure. No, he's awesome. And he just got a sloth too. I got an invite to see the sloth though, so maybe that'll happen. But yeah.
Yeah, he had some nice things to say about you for sure. He really did. He hit me up afterwards because he'll sometimes reach out to me to check when somebody's coming. If he thinks I know who it is and he doesn't know him yet, he'll ask me. He asked me about you before you came. He's like, do you know this person? Do you know anything? What do you think about her? I was like, I haven't met her in person, but we've had chats and stuff, messages back and forth. Seems like a very nice person. I don't think you have anything to worry about, because
Oh, yeah, no, he's got nothing to worry about. So, I mean, I was the one that was anxious. I was like, I hope I'm not overstaying my welcome. And he was just like, did all these small, thoughtful things to make me feel like I was a part of everything versus just like a visitor. And I think that was super important. Um, and the fact that, like, you know, it just represents a person as someone that's very genuine versus like, I don't know. He was just very genuine. So just like handing me the keys to the enclosures, being like, you know, get out whatever you want. I mean, this was like a form of being like, hey, I trust you with my animals. So
Yeah,
very, very person.
I guarantee he doesn't hand the keys over to everybody that walks through the doors.
Yeah, no. So that was a fantastic experience. And it looked like you guys were having so much fun too. So it's like you just can't not have fun there.
Yeah. They're very
Yeah.
hospitable people as well, too. As I'm sure you noticed while you were there.
All the staff, yeah, Jay and all them were awesome. So
Yeah, Jay, I got to bond with Jay a little more this last trip. What
yeah.
that dude's got some good energy, man.
I know, he's so positive. His photography's phenomenal. Just, yeah, very great person to meet. So yeah,
let's look
that
at
was so much fun. I could rave about that all day.
Yeah, I need to go. I hadn't been there in like 2 years. Since
Oh,
that
really?
middle section right behind Bowser's cage, that section right there, that was like the middle of the Reptarium when I was there, because that whole wall was, you know, it hadn't been open to the expansion yet, and even
Yeah,
that part wasn't finished. Like I was there right before, you know, maybe a couple weeks before they actually opened to the public, or maybe a little longer than that. But yeah, it had been a minute. I told them, I was like, it can't be that long again. Like it's not gonna be that long again.
for sure. No, yeah. I definitely want to plan to like go at least once a year there. It was just phenomenal. I had a very short time, so I had like I did a red eye flight, got there in the morning, wanted to sleep 1 hour, couldn't because I was so excited, got going on the day there, and then left 8 a.m. the next day. So super quick, but extremely worth it.
Yeah, it
Extremely worth it.
is.
That was probably one of the best, most positive reptile related experiences I've ever had. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, you have to say you get your money's worth then for the flight.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about the money, but yeah, absolutely.
And there you
Yeah.
are with Ivy right there, having her out, holding
Yeah.
her. She's so. Did you
Yeah.
hold Lucy at all while you were there?
I did not hold Lucy. No, no. I'm sure
Ivy's
she's
a better option. Trust me.
yeah. Lucy's kind of testy, huh?
It's not that she's testy. It's that she doesn't like how Ivy's just chilling there on your shoulders like that. Like Lucy doesn't really stop like moving. She's
Yeah.
just keeps on going, and it's bad. And she is bigger than Ivy too, and heavier, and moves. Basically, it's like trying to hold an enormous corn snake.
Yeah. Very active.
Yeah, super, just constantly moving forward, and you just like if you're gonna try
Yeah.
and actually hold her in one spot, that's why the way you're holding Ivy here, right? Ivy like was like the calm after the storm of holding
Yeah,
Lucy.
for sure. Yeah, no. Maybe I'll get to holding Lucy next time or something, but yeah, I did go and look at her and stuff, and she was just chilling near her water bowl, super relaxed. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother, bugging her. But but yeah, holding Ivy was definitely a super fun experience and very heavy. Oh my gosh, taking graceful photos with her was just impossible because she was so heavy. I was like weighing forward. But she's only gonna be bigger when I go back. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
wonder how big she's gonna get. That would be.
Oh god. Yeah. She's gonna be huge.
What else
But
you got? You got a little baby ball python in your hand. It looks like it's maybe a bamboo. I'm horrible at identifying ball pythons, believe it or not. At least ones that I didn't hatch. Like ones that I hatched, I've looked at them. I can tell them, but tell me that has bamboo, pastel bamboo, spot nose. Maybe none of
is that
those.
the white one? I can't see which photo you're
Oh
pulling
yeah,
up.
yeah, Axanthic. Or maybe
It's
Axanthic. I don't know. It looks like you're holding it in your hand just like this.
yeah, so that one is my pastel spider lesser GHI possible entry. So that right there,
Oh,
the reason
no
I wanted to
bamboo.
share that photo, no bamboo. But the reason I wanted to share that photo is because it's like a possible world's first. I checked with multiple people like Mutation Creations. I checked with Freedom Breeders to see their opinion on what it was, and they all said like possible entries. So I mean, if anyone wants to give their opinion, if they see any entry in there, let me know. But yeah, so I was super excited about the snake. I'm just waiting for her to grow more and shed a few times and see if I can see that entry. But that would be super exciting to have a second clutch with not only like successful hatchlings that are healthy, but actually have a world's first. So yeah, I mean, I would take your input on it too, but
So
Yeah.
you hatched this snake.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I was just asking if you, because this is even before she had her first shed here, or
That's after the first shed.
okay, right after the first shed. Just she looks
Yeah.
a little moist.
Or at
I
least I think it was after the first shed. Maybe it was a right away photo, but
I don't.
it might have actually been a fresh photo.
Damn, there's a spider in there. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
She
crazy.
doesn't act like it. Yeah. She definitely doesn't act like it.
Pastel lesser GHI, but wow. Yeah, it was like maybe. I mean, I'm looking at the very end of the tail and the way there's kind of some banding is where I would maybe try and say there was entry or not. But GHI causes lots of banding too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to pull it. If you ask Jesse and he didn't know, I'm not gonna try and say whether there is or not.
Yeah.
I'll send Jesse pictures
why...
sometimes and be like, "Hey, dude, what do you think here?"
Yeah. That's why like almost all but one that I'm keeping for sure is like all for sale and available except minus that one. Also, okay, so I'm keeping one and then there's a one in question. So I might keep that one depending on if it has entry. If it does not, then it will be available. So again, just like kind of waiting to see how she sheds out. Yeah, but super excited about that one. She's very pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely a gorgeous snake.
Yeah, you hatched a gorgeous clutch too. Talk about those sunset morphs.
Oh man, yeah.
Sunset, entry, cinnamon. Oh my god, I'm melted.
They kind of that combo does blow me away. Sometimes I feel like you know when I talk about it, I'm like it's the best combo ever because I hatched it. No, but they blow me away.
Beautiful.
They do blow me away. Like I sit there and look at them and I'm like, what is going on here? It's when I try to show it on the camera and get kind of close and get some detail, but when you're actually looking at it, and there's so many like the ranges of pinks and oranges and everything in between and all the little spots and that there's even like the white. I don't know. I can't even. I almost feel like I should go get it right now, but then I'll just put it on camera and nobody can see exactly what I'm talking about because you have to actually see it in person to see like each individual scale has a bunch of different crazy stuff going on the sides, especially. It's mind blowing.
God, yeah, the sunset gene is something else. I mean, maybe one day I'll get to work with it. There's a few genes I'm like super interested in, and that one's one of them, but not really in the cards for me right now. So congrats on being able to work with that gene. That's freaking amazing and beautiful. That was like a gorgeous clutch.
Thanks. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. Snake. You will. If you really want to, you will. It'll come around.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
We'll see. Maybe in a few years when the price goes down, but right now they're up there.
Yeah, it started up there, and then it's recessive, so it takes it longer to come down. So
yeah,
but you know, time. Yeah, all it's going to take is a few years, like you said.
Yeah.
What is going on? So is this mama and her babies, or it looks like got a big girl here, and she's got. It's a cool pic. It's an awesome photo. You got all these little heads like coming out of mom's coils.
Yeah, no, I just want to share that photo. It's okay, so I love reptiles and snakes and whatnot, but I also love taking photos. And so that was probably one of my favorite, like, combo of, hey, these reptiles are so cute, love them, and actually, like, getting a great photo. So that was my first clutch that I hatched, and that was little mama bear kind of wrapped around her babies. And people always say, you know, snakes don't take care of their babies for long and stuff, and that could be true, but her action of actually wrapping around those babies and whatnot, to me, that's not an accident. So that was just like a moment that I super appreciated, and it was fun to capture on camera. Yeah. So
yeah, they have instincts for sure. I mean, they wrap around their eggs. Not they just leave their eggs. Like there's some level of care. And then rattlesnakes too have been shown to like defend their babies as well, like and stick around and yeah, not just take off. Like, all right, you're here live. Take good luck.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I've heard too. I mean, multiple times from multiple people, like how they're so smart that they can actually pick out a slug or like an infertile egg or an unhealthy egg before you can even visually see it. They'll just kick it out, you know, what they're wrapped around and leave it out. So I think that's awesome too. There's definitely more knowledge than I think that we know about. That's just my opinion, and I don't think anyone needs to agree with me, but
well, I've witnessed it. I've seen moms kick out the slug. I've even seen moms kick out an egg that looked like it was not a slug, or it like actually had some veins and it went bad.
Exactly. That's more so what I'm referring to. The ones that look to us like they would be fine, they still new. And even if you incubate that one, you still find out that
Which is
it
what I
was
did.
not.
I incubated it still, and it was like,
Exactly.
and then it went bad like 2 days later.
Exactly. They know. They know. They're smart. They're more smart than we give them credit for, in my opinion. So.
You know the craziest thing that I've seen yet as far as like snakes showing intelligence. It happened to be a ball python too, which is the crazy thing. There's a so I don't remember who sent me the video. Somebody put a link in one of the comment. Somebody left a comment on a YouTube video and said, "Check this out." Like I think I was talking about snakes and their level of intelligence or something in the videos, which is why they sent it. But this ball python is on a bed and it crawls. I need to find a link so I can share it down in the description so people can see it. It they toss a little ball out on the bed. Whoever's filming the video, snake goes out, wraps around it, and like brings the ball back. Like literally wraps his neck around and like and comes back towards the person. The ball comes back, like in its coils, kind of rolls back.
Yeah.
And then they do it a second time. They throw it out there, and the snake goes and gets it again. I'm like, ooh.
Oh my
It's like
God.
this. And then they did it a third time, and the snake did the same thing, just like, I'm gonna go get that ball and bring it back. And I was like, okay. That and it wasn't cut, it wasn't edited, it was just like a raw video of somebody on their bed like doing that with the snake. I was like, all right, there's something, like that's something. It's not nothing. 3 times in a row.
Who needs
like,
dogs? Ball pythons can play fetch. It's fine.
third time's the charm, man. Third time's the charm. Yeah. And that
awesome.
did it for me. I was like, okay, there's something going on there. It's not, that wasn't chance. Like that I don't know if the ball smelled like a rat and they're like, oh, it's just the ball again. Oh, it's just the ball. Something. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. That is too funny. No, I think snakes are like super observant and stuff like that. So, yeah. Maybe not all of them. There's some of mine that I have that just don't like to do literally anything. They just hide forever. And I mean, they're fine. They're healthy looking. They eat, but they're just like very retreated, and that's okay. They're different personalities, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've got enough snakes here, and you can watch them change too. Like, how you treat a snake, like what experiences they have with you, or just in their lives, like it changes the way that they react to certain things. Like I noticed that in several of my snakes that I spend more time with than others. Like the way that I act with them and the things I do with them have definitely affected how they are. It's for sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
Let's see. You got another. Why did I go me big? Figuring out new stuff. I'm just playing around. It's fun. Whee! And then you got this beautiful picture here of like 6 ball pythons in a row. It's a nice shot. It's nicely lit. You got some GHI, maybe even super GHI. You got spider in there. Bumblebee, maybe. What's going on with this photo?
Yeah, so that clutch is going to be the one that I hatched this year. I'm super new to breeding. This is my 2nd year. I've only bred 1 clutch. I intended to breed 2. I did buy the world's first spider mystic potion. I always say spider potion, and it's ridiculous because it's not a thing. But I got the world's first mystic spider potion from Chris Hall. He's awesome. And so I was going to breed her, and that was going to be the last spider clutch that I want to breed. I want to move on to other genes, definitely way interested in other genes. But she decided to take this year off. I am going to try again to pair her with my GHI pastel, which was the father to the other, or sire, whatever you call it, to the other 2 clutches that I have bred. But I think that they would make some beautiful, beautiful animals, and that Amara is her name, and she shows like no sign of wobble. I know that's a huge debate that I'm absolutely not going to get into. But yeah, so this was my clutch this year, and I wanted a second one. Didn't happen, but maybe next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful clutch, and it's a great photo. You got it on a white blanket or something? Yeah.
Just on my bed.
That's funny. My wife does stuff like she get this white blanket. Her white blanket became so popular. She had, before COVID, she had other moms coming over to borrow that blanket so that they could use it for photos with their kids.
For photos, yeah. No, for real. I pretty much do keep that one just for photos, but yeah, it's fun. Yeah, maybe now that I have my nicer camera, I can do some better things with it. But yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
Well,
What kind of other projects do you have going on? I know you said you have the queen. That's one of the main breeders that you have.
she's definitely the flagship animal, I guess you could say, around here. She was the first ball python that I spent uh, more money on than I thought I was ever going to spend on a snake ever. And it was
Yeah.
also, unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, it was, I didn't know what she was going to, I just saw the snake. And I was like, that right there. I was still learning morphs and stuff. I learned it was a clown pied, of course. I knew it was a pied when I looked at it. It was like, oh, it's clown pied. And then I was like, that's the snake I want. That one right there. And then I saw the price and I was like, God, fuck, how am I gonna get that snake? And I was like, I'm gonna go broke. That's how I'm gonna get that snake.
You just got to do it. It's sometimes an investment, but so, so worth it. So worth it.
Yeah, it ended up being very, very worth it. I mean, yeah, it seemed,
Good.
I think people thought I was nuts at the time, and they're probably right, especially like people that were the closest to me, like my family and my wife. But luckily
He's
they're
like, why are you spending all this money on the snake?
luckily they're pretty supportive of everything I do, which is great. It's
Good.
I've
And
been
your kids
fortunate.
love them too. I love the way that you have your kids interact with the snakes. I think that's freaking amazing. So,
Yeah,
absolutely love what you do.
thanks. I try not to force them to do anything. You know, they don't want to. So if
Yeah.
they want, I'll always offer. Okay, hey, you guys want to come check out the snakes, or you want to do this with the snakes? And if they say no, I'll be like, all right, all right. But they'll
Yeah.
come down and help me out. And the baby girl especially, like, has had the most negative interactions with snakes of all the kids, which is just two, which is still
Aw.
more than the rest of them have had.
Yeah.
And but she's right back in there, like
Yeah.
a champ, man.
Oh, good.
I'm stoked
Yeah.
about it.
It's
Uh,
funny because, like, at first when we were gonna do the stream, honestly, like, I was so nervous because I was like, I'm just gonna get back into YouTube. But then I grew to a live stream, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like totally different than YouTube. And I was like, I'll just make random noises like your son did that one video. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make random noises. But it was still cute to see him hold the snake that just bit you. The way you calmed him down was something super cool. Yeah.
I like to think that I'm able to calm people down from being nervous. It's much more difficult over stream. You're actually the first. I don't know if I mentioned this right at the beginning, but you're actually the first person that I've had on a stream that I have not met in person yet. Every single other person I've had on stream, I've met in person and talked with in person. You're the first to just have never actually sat down and met you. And I used to always do this in person. That's what I would prefer to do, because you get to like get the vibe, and like, you know, I tend to be able to get people to relax and just talk about whatever it seems. So I was hoping that would work across video, because
we did it though. Nah, I think it worked out.
I think having the issues in the beginning helped out. Like, it was like, okay, like you saw me over here struggling, like, I'm messing up. Oh, damn it.
We got a great start, so yeah,
Yeah.
I don't feel anything to worry about. So
Well, I've been stealing you from the live chat for a bunch, but before we jump over to the after party, I want to see if anybody in the live chat. I'm sorry, I was really not paying close attention to the live chat, and was more getting to know Tamaya here, and hopefully you guys did too through it. But if you guys have any questions before we jump off of here and go over to Zoom, then now is the time to ask them. But Tamaya, do you have anything you'd like to say to everybody in the audience? That anything at all about yourself, or what your hopes are? Like, what do you want to, what would be the ultimate goal for you? Like, of what you're doing, you know, putting stuff out in social media, like what would be an ultimate result of that for you?
to me, it's all about just getting people to realize there's more to these animals. Again, snakes and tarantulas both. I think there's more to it than we recognize. Getting people into the hobby. There's a lot of people that really just like, they're gnarly to newbies in the hobby, and I don't think that's fair. Sometimes people genuinely don't know. They want to care for an animal, they do things wrong, and they don't know. So I strive to be one of those people that's friendly about it, welcoming to the hobby, being like, hey, these animals are amazing. That's truly all it is, just for people to realize they're not as scary as we think. I know it's instinctive for people to be scared of snakes and spiders, but spiders, they're more scared of you than you're scared of them. Snakes, as long as you can read their behavior, I think that you can get really familiar with them, and that's ultimately my goal, just to get people in the hobby don't be mean to these animals, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I totally forgot to talk about you had you had a pretty rough time with you know some stuff about snake fungal disease because the dragon snakes that came in that dragon snake you had that came in that didn't make it, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I think you know what did you pick up about, because my dad told me about snake fungal disease a few years ago, but now I looked into it a little bit, but you have like actual experience. Do you have anything you can share regarding snake fungal disease with everybody?
Yeah, so I'm no vet, but based on the research that I did, that's a very, very, very easily transmittable disease. If you physically touch something that has it and touch other things without, so cross contamination. So, pretty much. So when I saw the symptoms, which came on extremely fast after I received that snake, pretty much just this like crusting yellowness that was happening around the mouth and the lip, and it just progressed up the nose. Eyes went opaque, which is the eyes going opaque is a very, very clear signal of it, because not other like snake diseases have that issue of eyes being very opaque. Sure, there's like
when
eyes
not in shed.
Yeah, when their eyes go into blue, it's very clear. This was just white. So I ran it by some herpetologists before I like made a statement that that was my assumption. I wasn't saying this is for sure, which people got mad at me. Sure, people get mad at me for everything I do. But then ultimately, when I got that snake, I wanted it to be something productive. So I know they're super sensitive and people fail at keeping them all the time. I just wanted to make it something that's worthwhile. So I did do that. It's not an autopsy, but necropsy for animals is what you call it. And it did come back as suspicion for snake fungal disease. Thankfully, all of my animals are doing just fine, showing absolutely no symptoms. I did keep Zeriona, that dragon snake, in a complete separate room, like use gloves as soon as I saw that she had symptoms, but always, always, always quarantine. Wash your hands, and if you're worried about anything being a problem, glove it up. So yeah, that was an unfortunate experience, but at least I can go through it feeling like it wasn't for nothing.
Well, I commend you for sharing it publicly so that, you know, people could learn a little bit. I'm sure you got some folks that were like, "Oh, don't you know dragon snakes never make it?" But you know, that's how any animal has become established in the hobby, is that somebody had to figure out how to get them to make it in captivity. Every single one of them.
Exactly. And that was my point, is that if we don't actually have the experience to learn about them, how are we ever going to know, you know? So
yeah, that was just unfortunate you got one with snake fungal disease, because that's definitely devastating for snakes. But again, kudos to you for being willing to share it publicly to help people learn and go through it yourself too. So we do have a couple questions here for you. What is your favorite? Sammy Mark asks, "What is your favorite Australian snake?"
Ooh, Australian snake. Carpet pythons are Australian, right?
They are.
Okay, so I would definitely say carpet pythons. I've never seen one in person ever. But based on photos, I haven't even seen videos of their behavior, but from photos, they look as curious as like my boa constrictor. I mean, I could be wrong. Again, I've never seen them, but they just look, you know, when a snake just like looks a little bit more intellectual. They're very observant, and they take their time and look around and smell. Like my boa constrictor is extremely observant compared to my ball pythons. And so that's the impression that I get. Carpet pythons, I guess. Are Woma pythons also Australian, or am I wrong?
Woma pythons are also Australian, yes.
Yeah, I would say that one for like the looks mostly. I don't know their personality. Again, I've never interacted really with either of them.
Woma pythons and blackhead pythons are one of those snakes that tend to, like, if they lash onto you, it's usually a feeding response, and usually you just have to wait for them to let go.
Yeah.
But if you handle them right, then that will never be an issue. But yeah, carpet pythons are definitely good, and they like to like move up and check things out up, and yeah, they're definitely more athletic than a ball python, that's for certain. It's funny that you said that, because another one of the questions was, what's your favorite species of snake, and why is it carpet python? That was Nick Hall's question.
Why is it carpet pythons? I mean, I never stated that's my favorite species. That you guys asked what my favorite Australian one was. I'm thinking.
Well, my guess is that Nick Hall was trying to insinuate that everybody's favorite snake should be carpet python, and why.
Oh, I see. No,
that's my guess.
You probably know more about Australian pythons than I do. So.
Well, if you guys like carpet pythons, you definitely want to tune in next week. That's all I'm going to say about it. Um, let's see here. I know we had another couple questions in there. Oh, what's your favorite gene? Music City Balls. Oh, Music City Balls. What's up with that? I just got to. He was out there at the Reptarium.
Oh
The
yeah.
last night we were there, and we all went out to dinner and stuff. Super cool guy.
Nice. Hello, nice to meet you. My favorite species, is that what the question was?
Favorite gene?
Oh, favorite gene.
Ball python,
Oof.
I'm guessing.
I would say clown is a massive one for me that I don't actually even own. I would say clown, sunset, leopard. Those are ones I super, super love. I do like mystic potions. There's so many. I'm sorry, I don't have one, but I would say one that I really, really, really want that I can reasonably pursue is clown.
Clown is.
I'm also a clown. It's great.
Clown is my favorite. Clown is my favorite. So you're talking to the right person about that. I'm not going to give any pushback on that.
Yeah. I would love a clown. I foresee having clown clutch soon.
Cool. We could. You have like some het clowns over there that you're working to produce, or you?
Not yet. We'll get there.
Okay. Well, I might be able to help you out at some point too. Since clown is my favorite gene, I do tend to have it in a lot of my projects. So.
Count me in.
We got one more question for you before we jump off of here, and that is Curtis Merritt is wondering where I'm saying it wrong, aren't I? Zeriona. Did I say it right? Zariona?
Zeriona, yeah.
Zeriona. Where does the name come from? He's wondering.
Oh my god.
I know that was the name of your dragon snake.
I can't believe you guys brought that up. So I play World of Warcraft, which is a computer video game, and that's the name of one of the dragons, and I'm a total nerd. Thanks for exposing me. Even though I put about it, but yeah, that's where the name came from. That game has a ton of cool names, so I snatched those.
I'm pretty sure you just got actually cooler for a lot of people in the chat. That's my guess.
I'm so nerdy. I'm literally so nerdy, but whatever.
That's good. Own it. Wave the freak flag. Okay, we got one more question. I got to ask you because it's Puget Sound pythons, and since you're right there on the Puget Sound.
Hello.
What are your thoughts on females in the reptile community, breeders, keepers, enthusiasts, etc.? They seem to be very few of us out here. How do you try to encourage others?
Ugh, that's super hard because honestly, they don't treat me very well. I consider myself a super nice person. I've done multiple shout outs to people. I've only ever harped on 2 people twice when one tried to spread lies about me, 2 it just did not see my point of view. So to me, I guess at this point, I'm still supportive because I want people to get in the hobby. That's like my favorite thing that I talked about. Again, I do shout outs to encourage people in person. I mean, my old coworkers are female and I want them in the hobby. So I'm not one of those people that's competitive with females. I think that's silly. I'm not here for a competition. I'm here to show my love for my animals, share my animals. I think it's wonderful when females get into the hobby because like we kind of talked about earlier, it gets people more comfortable when they see like a female with a big snake or any snake at all or any reptile at all. So, I mean, aside from shout outs with coronavirus, I can't really meet people as much, but if I were able to, I'd definitely go to like a reptile event and, try to talk to people or whatnot. So there's only so much I can do right now. And I really do try to be friendly.
Yeah, well, I think you're doing a good job. I mean, you haven't been very mean to me yet. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it progresses.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I don't get mean. There's a few things that really trigger me, and I do probably act a way that I shouldn't, but, I'm only human. I'm just here to love my animals. Just let me love my animals.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I think you're doing a good job, and I'm looking forward to when things open up a little bit more. Maybe we can all do some big trip out to Snake Road or some big herp expedition. I know Brian's coming out to California, go herping with Brian Gundy out here, which would be like kind of a dream of mine realized. So I'd love for you to come out because of how obviously into herping you are. I would love you to come out and meet Brian Gundy down here and go herping with him, because if you're as into herping as you are, and I know you are, going herping with Brian Gundy is kind of one of those things you really got to do. There's nothing like it. I'll say that. You always find something, and it's always awesome. And just being with Brian is awesome. He's one of my favorite people on the planet, and I think that you would be a good candidate to come down and meet him.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to. I wish I had more herping friends here, but it's funny how some people that go herping on the regular have such skill. They're just so good at it. They can just point out multiple things. Whereas if I walked in there and I was looking closely, I'd still just miss all of it. They're just so good at it.
He does go almost every day of his life. He's out there almost every single day. So, yeah.
So cool. Props to people that can do that. I'm a newbie. Yeah.
Well, shoot, Tamaya, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to join the live stream here. And I know we'll see you in a minute in the Zoom call, but thank you for coming on the public live stream. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, I think that she did a good job. Again, the first person I've ever had on without having met them in person, and it was good. I think I had fun. That seems like a super awesome person. Like I kind of picked up on just watching her stuff. I highly recommend you go check out her Instagram page. It's been written on the bottom the whole night. It's down in the description. Look at the different about things she has up there, like the stuff about her, the herping things, the little stories she put together to kind of show you what you can expect from her page. Really, really awesome stuff on there. Like I just went and looked at it right before the stream, and her little about thing is such a well-told story of what she's about, where she came from, and in this little package. Like I wish I had something like that for myself because it's very well put together. But I'd like to thank her again for coming on. As you know, there's a little wrap coming on right here at the end here. You can take a wild guess at who maybe the next week's guest is. I tried to make it a little easier this week, but hey, you know, it is what it is. But thanks again to Tamaya, and I'll see you folks later. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye for now. Oh, I'm coming right back, actually. Tamaya, and the Noodle fam, wham fam, thank you ma'am, now spam on the gram, hot damn son of Sam, cause you're killing it, dead, well read, well spread, hell fed, red door black, open up for our next guest. He's a pretty cool dude and an even better friend. You could call him Triple B's official cameraman. Worked his zoos, paid his dues, and you'll never hear the end. Especially if you're talking about Morelia. Yeah, if you're talking about Morelia. Yeah, if you're talking about Morelia. That should go when you feel what you smelly up. Going back down with that belly up. Leave a comment down below if you think you know who the next guest is based on that little outro rap madness. Take your best guess, not here on the stream, but after, and you might win a Triple B pack! A Triple B pack that you can take home and feel like you're home with us, at home at your home. Wouldn't that be great? I think it'd be great. Try it out, take a guess, not right now, wait till after. Yeah? We good? All right, we're out. Bye!